wanna get it, mama wanna get it nice. I know food I miss, I know food I tell, I know kaya mari.
Right, 23 July 2022, and today I'm joined by my usual guest on Saturdays, Senator Khaliphani Phugeni. How are you, Senator?
I'm good. How are you, my friend? How are you doing? How is everyone doing? Hope you have a lovely weekend. I'm a bit low on energy today, so don't be surprised. I was traveling from Bulawayo to Harare, so my body is human, so I'm feeling a bit low.
No, I'm very happy, and I know, Senator, you travel a lot to your constituency in Bulawayo, and we never really speak much about the work that you're doing. And I promise that when I'm in Zimbabwe next time, I want to see, maybe you take me around your constituency and we see what is happening there.
No, yeah, that would be lovely. On that point, I don't know if you heard about this. We unfortunately lost Senator Watson Coupe. He was a senator representing the differently abled community, inverted commas, the disabled community in the Senate. And so we lost him, and we were busy on public hearings. My committee had public hearings this week. So I only got the opportunity to get there Thursday evening when we had just come back from Nyati. And when I got there to pay my respect, I got into a storm. So I was called aside, Senator, please come here. When I got there, it became apparent that there's only one bus. And I'd never seen so many differently abled people gathered in one place, which was testimony to how well he represented them. They were there. And now that one bus was going to be for everyone, it became clear that they're not going to be fairly represented. And they said, we want our own bus. Remember, this is past 8 on a Thursday. The funeral is following day at 8 o'clock. So there was an argument ensued. And I said, look, I think they have a point. Let me see what I can do. And other senators looked at me like I'm smoking something. So what are you going to do at this time? Where are you going to go? And to cut the long story short, I drove around, I phoned around many colleges, many schools. I was extremely unlucky. That one reason or the other why they couldn't assist. Friday morning, I was referred to a principal, Hillside Teachers College. I think her name is Linda. Yeah, Linda Sivind. I went there. When I got into her office, there was one of the teachers there who needed a bus, and there was problems there. And I explained my situation to her, and she says, Honorable, it's short notice, but I can give you the bus. The only thing, you'll have to fuel it, because I don't have fuel that can take you as far as Harare. And I'm like, no, ma'am, I'm not going to Harare. It's right here in Bulawayo. And she says, if that's the case, then you have the bus. So I thought it's important. Last week we're celebrating another female leader, and I thought it's important that we give a shout out to Ma'am Linda Sibindi, that I think we're missing a lot when we give women the opportunity to lead, because they quickly understand the situation. They don't argue a lot, and they provide solutions. And I might as well end on this note that women ought to know that while Kambako and this coterie of deplorables will attack this one, Mahere, there are other men that really appreciate what they do, and they support them, and they will not lift a finger or a voice unfairly so against a woman, no matter different persuasions and beliefs in politics. Thank you, Kambako.
Senator, I don't want to go into it right now. I would probably
but I just thought
if I started talking about my hair.
It's important that we celebrate women, And this woman, to me, she's my champion. So the next time I have an opportunity to speak in Parliament, I'm going to mention her, Madam Linda Sivindi, principal for Hillside Teachers College. You guys on Twitter and everywhere, please celebrate her. Amazing, amazing woman. Came up with a solution. And I thought it's really, really important that we celebrate women and they hear us speaking about them, supporting them. Because it's not true that when women excel, it's because they've slept their way up. It's demeaning. It must be condemned. And the voices that are progressive must speak more so that they can diminish these negative connotations that are always drawn towards women.
Okay, Senator, I hear that, and I appreciate the work that you did there. And as I said, we're going to look around at the constituency and the work that you're doing. Let's quickly look at the situation developing in ZANU-PF. Yeah. And I want to look specifically at the T-shirt that is doing the rounds today. Okay. And also the events of the past week. You can clearly see that there's something taking place in ZANU-PF that is not ordinary. Did you see this T-shirt here, which is being, and the people working at the back who are printing more of these T-shirts?
Okay.
No, it's general, and also you saw. Yeah. Sorry, you haven't seen the T-shirt.
Well, I'm seeing it here.
Okay, there was also.
I've not paid close attention, but I'd seen it online.
Okay, people online are trying to pit President Mnangagwa against Vice President Chiwenga ahead of the conference of ZANU-PF. And there are also many statements going around regarding the presidency or the candidacy in the ZANU-PF 2023 elections. And I think you have seen Godfrey Tsenengamu this week. You've also seen previously the challenge on President Mnangagwa in court by Sibeth Mtsengezi. It's becoming common now in ZANU-PF for people to just come out, people who are inside and who are outside ZANU-PF. And I think we need to look at whether this is something that is going to be sustained or it's a temporary thing. What is your feeling on what's happening there? Is this something that should be concerning to ZANU-PF or not?
Well, you have just conflicted two things, which in my view don't necessarily go together. The current attack on the president of the country and the president of ZANU-PF, of course, is something which is a cause for concern. I had tried on my own side, you know, because people ask different views, whether diplomatic community or people in the diaspora and whatever, they want to get a feel of what is happening in the country, and they think that I am that source of credible information. And so I've had different discussions with different people as high as the Politburo, and they are saying the president and the Right Honorable Vice President are solid. They are in good terms. They are not divided. Between the two of them, there is nothing there to fight over. And this is just a social media mischief. But it's if it's social media mischief, it's a well-coordinated one, and it's one that should cause them concern. Concern in the sense that it's planting ideas to other people. If I was listening to the commander-in-chief of the EFF next door here, he says he was supporting Premier Sihle Zikalala for the youth leadership after Minister Mbalula. But Minister Mbalula said, but you can be the president. And he says after that, his head was messed up. It was never the same. Anyone who spoke against his candidature, he really fought that person. So if I have to take what I'm hearing, that the president and the Right Honorable Vice President are solid, there is nothing there. They ought to be concerned about this campaign because it's planting ideas, then therefore, in the head of the Right Honorable a vice president, and that could be the source of the division. Then the second part is, I don't think Saiben, who took His Excellency to court, can be put in this campaign because he did the correct thing. He felt that an injury has been committed against him, a political injury, and then he looked at the case law, which was the MDCT versus MDC alliance, and he felt that the law is on his side, and he correctly took that matter to court. The court is the final arbiter of our disputes. We cannot celebrate the courts and vindicate them and exonerate them and say all manner of good things about them because they've judged against a certain person that we don't like. And then when the same courts are then approached against us or against those that we like, and then we say they are out there to get someone. No, I think Saiben is a different case altogether. The courts are the final arbiters of our dispute, and he has a dispute with his party, ZANU-PF, with regards to who is the legitimate president. And I don't think the two are necessarily linked.
Okay, Senator, I know that you are very tired because you've been driving from Bulawayo. Let me wrap up this discussion with one question on succession. Yeah. We know that President Mnangagwa is going to his last term. He has done a great job in the first term. He is now going into his last term. What should be done? Let's say you were in ZANU-PF. How would you handle succession in ZANU-PF? Would you announce the guy who's taking over after President Mnangagwa now, or would you wait for the for the elections to be over? What needs to be done here? Because obviously these are succession issues. There are people who want to take over after President Mnangagwa, and they are putting in fillers. What would you do then in that situation?
When you're saying HE has done a great job, you mean where? You mean he's within his party, or you mean his job as an executive, as the top executive of the country?
Everywhere. President Mnangagwa has been easily the best president Zimbabwe has had. I can give you examples right now. There is no president that has done so much in terms of visibility. He's very visible. He engages with anyone in society, lower levels, higher levels. He brings in a lot of investment. If you go on the ZANU-PF Twitter right now, they have grown to 120,000 followers. The ED related campaigns, women ED and youths for ED, he's done very, very well. In government, he's done a lot. He's done all the construction. You can see the results on the ground compared to the previous regime.
Oh, no, of course. Look, of course, there's only one president to compare to, and anyone is better than Mugabe. I'm on record on saying that. I maintain that anyone is better than Mugabe on any record. You will never find a more evil person in this world than Mugabe. That guy was evil. He was prime evil. He hated people, and he made sure that he not only humiliates them in Mateo, and he massacred people simply because they didn't speak the same language as him. So Mugabe is worst that you can compare. And last week I did a show here with you, and I told you that on credibility right now, the current president is the top in the country in terms of like political promises. I will not disagree. I still maintain that. So if you are comparing him to the previous president, and you are maybe comparing him to the other players, you'll have a point. But you can't say he is successful based on the promises which he made in his manifesto, based on what the Constitution says, because the president has to carry out the Constitution. As I speak to you, when I go back to Bola, I'm opening a case against two shops or companies. I'm opening a criminal case against Gain, because they refuse to sell to me using Zimbabwean currency, and they said they will only take US dollars from me. So I'm opening a criminal case against them because it's against the law. And then there's another pharmacy that sold me what you call this, these other lemon whatever for headache, and they sold it to me at a parallel rate market. That was last week already for 1:850, which is another criminal offense. I'm opening those two cases as a follow-up to this campaign, which I've always been doing, of the economy, the runaway inflation, and all those things. Now, just on those points alone, Kambakwe, you can point to the president because the ministers are appointed by him. You know, I love Professor Ncube. I really, really love him as an individual, but he has failed and failed dismally. And he was appointed by the president. So that failure, you can credit direct to the president. So I'm basically pushing back on, you are imposing this narrative on me to saying he has done brilliant, he's done extremely well. No, President Clinton says, is the economy stupid? You see, people are suffering. I've said this over and over again, are suffering in untold proportions. Our people are suffering. We are all suffering. The last time, maybe before the recent one, which the minister announced, I think about 6 months ago when we had salary adjustments, inflation has gone over 600%. But you see the adjustments are never catching up with that. The last time I had, before this one, the last time I had salary adjustment, bread was 100 and something. This time around, bread is 600 something to 800. Now you deal with that. So you cannot claim of any success if the economy is not performing, because the economy is a benchmark of how well the people are doing. Okay.
Senator, I hear you. But there's that unanswered question of succession. I think you have covered that issue of whether it's doing well or not.
Okay. Yeah, no.
Yes. So I want to re-ask this question, Senator. And this is a very important question because I've been around ZANU-PF guys. Believe me, ZANU-PF guys are nice guys. When you hang around with the ZANU-PF guy, they want this economy to do well. I've hanged around with all levels of ZANU-PF guys, and you'll probably see me with other ZANU-PF guys soon. They want the economy to do well. Let's look at succession. But from the time of President Mugabe to the time when Mam Juru was kicked out, to the time now of Operation Restore Order. Now we are in the second term of President Mnangagwa. And in my view, he has done well. He needs to go into his last term, which is 5 years, and 5 years is very short time. What is the best method here to deal with succession at this current point?
Well, I remember I told you that on many fronts he has done well. I don't argue. I will not dispute that. When I went to Nyati, that thing I wrote is being fixed, although I know that it has been like that, I think, since 1993, when elections are closed, we just go a few kilometers. But this time it looks like they're a bit serious. I hope we are not being fooled again. There are many other improvements which you can point to. You know that under President Mugabe, there was a resemblance of freedom of speech, but no freedom after speech. But under this presidency, there are a few cases here and there, but by and large, you know that there is a freedom of speech and the freedom even after speech. So I don't dispute that. But that does not take away that on the key deliverable, there's been a massive failure. The mistake you're making is to think that this government, because it wants the economy to do well, then it must be exonerated on a massive failure. The intention, having a good intention, but with no capacity to see it through, is the reason why they are not doing well. You see, then you need someone with the capacity to turn around the economy. So the issue is in the economy, right? Let's agree, we must all agree that Prof. Ncube has failed. It doesn't matter how you want to portray it. He has failed and failed dismally. Unfortunately, he has failed dismally. And so that they want the economy, they wish, it's good. But if wish is what we're horses or something of that sort. We don't live on intentions. We live on what is obtaining on the ground. And what is obtaining on the ground is that our people are struggling with a government that is seemingly unable to turn the trajectory of this misery that our people are facing. But ministers and most people that are close to the administration are doing very well. Right. Succession. The biggest challenge, not only in this country, in Africa, and in many NGOs, but I think churches sometimes do better. And in this case, I'm referring to my church, because you can almost know that when the president goes, the executive secretary will become the president. I'm talking about my church. But politics in Africa, there is always a struggle when it comes to succession. People don't understand that their legacy is linked to succession. If I ask you right now, you know that probably HE, not probably, I think this is a foregone conclusion unless something terrible happens. The successor to HE is the Right Honorable Vice President. And there isn't anyone under the age of 40, which is close to 40, who's being prepared. And that succession it does not inspire confidence, because we want to see presidents between the ages of 40 and 55. That is really inspiring, because then we want new ideas. The world is changing very, very fast. The fourth revolution is on us now. And you are not going to have people in what we call the twilight of their productive lives seeing this fourth industrial revolution through. No, it's unthinkable. So succession, there is a big problem, not only in the country, in the continent. There is big problem. And so I'm not sure if I can give him good marks there on succession. No, I don't think I can. But of course, I must admit, remember, I'm not a member of ZANU. It probably is good for me in the opposition if they are not well organized in terms of succession, because then we can then get our opportunity to get in there. I don't see any young person being prepared to take over. I only see the old people taking over.
Okay, and I guess that was my point, Senator, that if ZANU-PF does not handle succession properly, is this not a threat to the 2023 elections being held in a peaceful environment, in an environment that is conductive? If ZANU-PF starts fighting over succession now, what we are seeing right now, is it not a problem for the election in 2023?
I'm not sure if ZANU is fighting. Like I told you, I've spoken to people that I respect, people that ordinarily would not lie to me, people that should be able to confide in me and say, yeah, indeed, there's a problem there. And and these people were unrelated, you know, from different parts of the country who don't even know that I know them, you know, and they are all really saying the same message as if they've practiced it. So I don't think that there is a problem between HE and the Right Honorable Vice President. I don't think there is a problem. Based on three different people who are very close to the situation, who know them, and they seem to say there is nothing there. It's just social media
Apologies.
mischief.
Okay, so you're saying it's social media mischief. I think, Senator, let me wrap this up. My network is starting to misbehave here, and my electricity is just about to go. Is there anything else you want to say before we close?
No, I really want to go back and really salute Madam Linda Sibindi. You have no idea, Kambakwe, what it means to be disabled, and you are crying out there, and it will seem like all the doors are shut for you. I'm telling you, those people came in their wheelchairs, they came in all their different ways. Able-bodied people struggle to move from one point to the other because of the manner of transport and all those things. So her coming through for those people in the last minute, approached in not even the 11th hour, really, it was 11:59, you know, and she releases that. I'm extremely, extremely proud of her, and I want her celebrated on your Twitter pages and whatever. Do everything to celebrate her because of what she did for our disabled community. And to the Senator Watson Cooper's family, may God comfort you during this difficult time. And I want you to know that these too shall pass.
Thank you very much, Senator. And I think next week we'll try to have a bit more time. I'm going to be back in Zimbabwe for a while soon, so that we're actually in one place. We're having all these network issues because of the power problems. Apparently we got in a specialist to come and look at my setup here, and it's actually not Hopo and his friends attacking me. It's some issues with electricity which are destroying my gadgets. So we sorted out the problem.
Really thought that Hopo has time to sit down and start sabotaging you. Come back with, come on, get real.
You'll be surprised what's happening with CCC guys. Those guys, the things that they go to. Let me tell you what they did. They went and started reporting my Facebook pages and on Facebook and all that, so that and then tagging our platforms. And what these guys don't understand is that a free media, a free press, does not take sides. A free press deals with issues impartially. I'm not like Hopo, who comes every day on CCC like a spokesman, or ZANU-PF. So that behavior, that is what we are against. The people who just attack Facebook pages and want you to be on their side. That is why I was quite convinced.
You don't have to convince me on how ruthless that crowd can be. Remember, I was Dr. Cooper's spokesperson, and they really pushed her out of social media leading up to 2018. You'll have about over 200 people just sitting there sending her messages every second to make sure that she just can't use her. So I know what you're talking about. But the issue I'm raising here is you can't say Hopewell. For the life of me, you are just doing name dropping here. You can't just pick a guy with no evidence whatsoever and say he is attacking you. Listen, just give it up. Whatever between you and Hopewell, it's now embarrassing. Just let it go. He can't really spend so much time trying to attack Kambakwe. For what?
Okay, Senator, I take it and I believe you. So let's bring this to an end, and we'll talk again next week. Tomorrow I've got Forest Party. Let's look at women in politics. You saw what has been happening this past week. We really want to attend to the issue of Susan Mutami. She has become a problem and a menace. And I think let's have a look at what she's been saying. And you know how many hours I spent dealing with her. So, Senator, tomorrow, if you have a chance, have a look at our discussion.
Who is she?
She made a 6-hour video yesterday with allegations that are crazy and unbelievable. And we want to attend to those.
I'll tell you now, I'm not going to discuss those allegations. I will not go where angels fear to tread. I will not go there.
No, but it's not you. It's not you. We've got another party called Forest Party.
All right. Oh, it's okay. I would never in my life discuss that unless she had gone to the police and reported that and whatsoever. But to involve myself in tarnishing anyone's image, more so the most powerful person in the country, no, I'll never do that. I'll never.
I agree with you. And this is what I'm saying, that election time as it is coming, we've got a lot of things coming out of the woodwork. And these things need to be addressed. The thing about me is, when things are happening, our media is on top of it. When Grace Mugabe was being attacked, or when she was attacking President Mnangagwa, when she was being dealt with by Maimjuru, we were right there. And we need to address what's happening now. I have a feeling that there's more happening behind the scenes, and we need to deal with it as it happens, not in retrospect. So this is why we need to attend to all these issues as they happen. But Senator, I'm so sorry. I keep bringing you more and more into this.
No, I have no issues. I will never try and influence your editorial policy and whatsoever. I just thought you were saying you are going to deal with that issue with me, and I was saying, no, count me out, and easy. No, they are not. Yeah.
No, I would never do that to you, Senator. Okay,
right.
So fantastic. Let's have another chat next week, and thank you very much for coming today, and good night to everybody.
Yeah, good night.
Uyo, uko, kuno, abo, pano. Mama wanna get it, nice. I know Buddha meso, I know Buddha zebe, I know Kaya Marigi. Don't come, but don't come,
Kambakwe uyo anotara mari anogaya mari garai mamunzwa paninyaya pano zvamunoda kunzwa zvinotaurwa pano madiko kumunzwa mugovane.com. Kambakwe vanogaya mari vanotaura mari vanoziya mari. Kambakwe vanotaura feya kuti pamberi zvichafamba sei. Vanhu muteerere zvikubatsirei mukufamba kwenyu zvikubatsirei. Mirai ndikudze kuti chokwadi pano chizere. Kambakwe vanogaya cash vanopa mafacts vanotaura straight vane evidence vane confidence plus intelligence.
Entertainment, current affairs and news. Kambakwe.com. Usasarire, Kambakwe anugaya mari.